Have you desired to change the direction of your life, but you didn't know how? Maybe your money can help you do that. Some time back, I had to cross the river and go from West Monroe into Monroe, and I pulled up at the service station to get some gas. Well, as soon as I pulled up, this car pulled up right behind me, and this guy jumps out and runs over to my car window before I can even get out of the truck. So he says, "Man, I've been trying to run you down." He said, "God spoke to me in a vision to give you $1,000. And I went, "What?" And I rolled the window down. He said, "Yes." And I said, "All right." So he handed me money. I prayed over it. And the man was a pastor here locally. He says, "I'm trying to change my direction, and God said to do this." And so I'm believing that God's going to do it. And that's how we prayed. We prayed for God to change his direction and make his life different. So as it turns out, he wound up having an international television ministry and pastoring even overseas. I've been so proud of him. I just think this guy has a tremendous anointing, and he needed a break to go forward, and that's what did it. So what does the word 1,000 have to do with anything? Well, everybody knows that you can have the number 5, and it means grace. Number 7 means perfection, and number 8 means completion. But what does 1,000 mean? Every number means something. And it means divine completion, spiritual anointing, prosperity, new beginnings for you to be able to go forward in some kind of field or business to prosper. So having said that, I've done that many times myself, and God has worked the course of my life to do everything I just said. This man did it, and it worked real well for him. So I'm going to point out a couple of things that you might need to know. Number 1, you need to hear from God. What does God say? Number 2, you need to know that you are planting in a good field. And you say, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Well, you planted in some form of the ministry, or a poor person, or maybe an orphan or something like that, and somebody that God points out to you to give to." Anyway, those are just some of the examples. I happen to be a minister, and he felt like I was good field, and that anything that he planted in me would multiply back toward him. And it did. And he has been blessed. So if you get ready to go on a new venture and you want to get God's blessings on it, maybe, just maybe, planting $1,000 into somebody. God uses people, not so much organizations, although I'm not saying they're not valid, but generally it's going to be people, because we're people dealing with people. Organizations come and organizations go, but people go. The ones that's in your life are going to be the ones generally that God's going to want you to plant in. You wouldn't go plant some corn and a bunch of clay. You'd find some good fertile loam, and you'd plant that corn in that. Same thing with potatoes or anything else. You want to plant in a good field that'll bring great multiplication. You don't want it to dry up. All right, if you will then, number 1, speak to God about it. Number 2, if he tells you on that $1,000 thing, you already know what it means. Number 3, plant it in a good field. And once you do that, be patient, because once you plant something, then comes the harvest. But it's not coming necessarily in 5 seconds or a day or a week. You know, if you plant something in a field, it may be 90 days or 120 days before it gets to full maturation. So give this thing some time. All right? If you will be careful about how you do this, and you will move in faith, I'm going to tell you that you're likely going to have great success, and your life is going to change, and you're going to go forward. I hope that helped you. It's always helped me, and I've done a lot of $1,000 gifts, but I always do everything that I just said. God bless you guys, and go in peace. Love you. Bye.